The man outside my kitchen window didn't try to break in. He just stood there smiling, like he already knew the door was unlocked. I was 19 when this happened, and even now I still think about it every time I come home late at night. My parents were away for the weekend. I had the house to myself. We lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind of place where nothing ever happened. People left bikes in the driveway. Sometimes they even forgot to lock their cars. That night, I got home around 11:30. I had been hanging out with a friend. I locked the front door when I came inside, turned on the kitchen light, and started making something to eat. Everything felt normal. The TV was playing quietly in the living room. My phone was charging on the counter. I was half distracted, just moving around the kitchen. Then I looked up and froze. There was a man standing outside the kitchen window, right above the sink. He was close enough that I should have heard him walk up, but I hadn't heard anything. He was just there, middle-aged, thin, wearing a dark jacket and a baseball cap, and he was smiling at me. Not friendly, not crazy, just patient, like he had been waiting. I stumbled backward so fast I knocked a chair over. The crash echoed through the kitchen, but when I looked back at the window, he hadn't moved. Same smile, same posture, one hand resting against the wall of the house. I grabbed my phone and ran into the hallway. For some reason, I called my dad first, not the police. Maybe because calling the police would have made it real. When he answered, I whispered there was a man outside the kitchen window. My dad didn't hesitate. He told me to go upstairs, lock myself in his office, and call 911. That's when I heard something from the kitchen, a soft sound. Not banging, not scratching, the sound of the back door opening. I had locked the front door when I came home, but I never checked the back. I ran upstairs so fast I almost slipped. I locked myself in my dad's office. Then I called 911 with shaking hands. The operator asked if I could hear the person inside. At first I said no. Then I heard it. Slow footsteps downstairs. Not rushed, not searching, just walking. Like whoever came inside had all the time in the world. The footsteps moved through the kitchen, then the dining room, then the living room. I could follow them by the creaking floorboards. Then everything went quiet, completely quiet. And then, a step on the stairs, then another, then another. The office was at the far end of the hallway upstairs. Whoever was in the house walked slowly down the hall, stopping once outside my bedroom, then outside the bathroom. Then the footsteps stopped right outside the office door. I held my hand over my mouth so I wouldn't make a sound. The doorknob turned once, then twice. Then there was a knock. Not loud, not violent, just 3 slow taps. The operator was whispering in my ear, telling me police were close. Then suddenly I heard sirens outside. The footsteps moved away from the door immediately. Fast this time. Someone ran down the stairs. Then the back door slammed open. When police arrived, they found the backyard gate open. But what they discovered next was worse. The back door hadn't been forced. It had been unlocked. And according to my dad, only one person outside our family knew the lock sometimes didn't catch, unless you pulled the handle twice. The man who had repaired it a month earlier. At 3:07 in the morning, someone started knocking on every apartment door in my hallway. But when they got to mine, they stopped knocking and whispered my name. I lived alone in a small apartment building during my second year of college. It was an old place, 3 floors, narrow hallways, weak lighting, walls thin enough that you could hear people coughing through them. There were only 6 apartments on my floor. After a while, you learn the sounds of a building. You know when someone comes home. You know when someone leaves. Old buildings develop patterns, which is why that night felt wrong immediately. I woke up around 3 a.m. At first, I thought I imagined the sound. Then I heard it again. 3 knocks, pause, 3 knocks, pause. The sound moved door to door. I sat up and checked my phone. 3:07. Whoever was outside wasn't yelling, wasn't banging. The knocks were controlled, almost polite. They would knock on one door, wait, then move to the next. I walked to my door and looked through the peephole. The hallway lights were dim, but I could see a man standing a few doors down. His back was facing me. He was tall, wearing a gray hoodie, completely still between knocks. He would raise his hand, tap the door 3 times, wait, then move on. No one opened. He reached the apartment across from mine, knocked again, then stepped to my door. I backed away from the peephole, holding my breath. No knocking came. 5 seconds passed. Nothing. Then I heard a voice from the other side of the door. Low, calm, male. He said my name. Not loudly, not like a question, like he already knew I was standing there. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. My entire body felt cold. Then he said it again. My name. I grabbed my phone and texted the woman who lived across the hall. Are you awake? Someone is outside my door. She replied instantly. Don't open it. He knocked on mine too. He asked if I was alone. That message made my stomach drop. I called the police as quietly as I could. While I was on the phone, the man finally knocked. 3 slow taps, then silence, then one more tap. Then I heard something drag across the door. Light, slow, like a fingernail or metal. He stayed there for what felt like forever. The dispatcher asked if I could still hear him. I whispered yes. Then I heard footsteps moving away, not toward the stairs, toward the end of the hall, toward the fire exit. Police arrived within minutes and searched the building. They didn't find him, but one officer checked the hallway cameras downstairs. That's when they found the strange part. The man entered the building at 2:58 a.m. He never pressed a buzzer. He never waited to be let in. He used a key. Management later discovered that a former maintenance worker had never returned one of the building copies. I barely slept that night. But the worst moment came the next morning. When I opened my door, there was nothing on the floor. No sign that anyone had been there. Except on the painted wood next to the peephole. Someone had scratched one sentence so lightly I hadn't heard it clearly during the call. I know you looked. We rented a house for one night on the edge of a frozen lake. By morning, we found footprints circling the house, and they never once led away. This happened 2 winters ago. 4 of us rented a remote house for a weekend trip. It was cheap, and in the photos, it looked perfect. The house sat near a frozen lake, surrounded by trees, no close neighbors, no cell service unless you drove 10 minutes back toward the highway. We arrived just before sunset. The house itself looked normal, but the area around it felt too quiet. No birds, no cars, no wind, just snow, ice, and that strange stillness you only get in places far from everything. At first we joked about it, unloaded our bags, made food, drank a little, tried to enjoy the place, but by midnight everyone had noticed the silence. Even inside the house it felt strange, like the walls were absorbing sound. Around 1:30 a.m., one of my friends asked if someone had walked past the side window. No one answered, because we had all seen it. A shape crossed the glass, too fast to identify. Human height, dark clothing, moving just outside the edge of the porch light. We checked every door, every window, all locked. For the next hour, nothing happened. No sounds, no movement. Eventually, 2 people went upstairs to sleep. My friend Adam and I stayed downstairs in the kitchen, talking quietly. Then we heard it. A crunch outside. Snow. One slow step. Then another. The sound stopped directly outside the back door. Adam turned off the kitchen light, without saying anything. We stood there in the darkness, staring at the window. At first I couldn't see anything. Then a face moved close to the glass. So close, all I could see were eyes and the outline of a nose. The person outside stood there for 3 seconds, then slowly lifted one hand and tapped the glass. Once. Just once. Adam whispered for everyone to come downstairs. Nobody argued. We all stayed in the living room, lights off, speaking quietly, listening. Sometimes we heard footsteps near one side of the house. Then nothing. Then a distant crunch on the other side. It went on for hours. No banging, no attempt to break in, just circling, like whoever was outside wanted us to know they were still there. Around 4 a.m., one of the girls started crying. She wanted to leave, but the driveway was solid ice, and none of us wanted to step outside while someone was still moving in the dark, so we waited for sunrise. None of us slept. When morning came, we opened the front door slowly and stepped out into the snow. The footprints were everywhere. They circled the entire house, again and again, past every window, every door, every wall. We followed them toward the lake. expecting to see where they came from. But that's not what we found. The prints came from the direction of the frozen lake, circled the house for hours, then went back toward the lake. But they didn't continue across it. They stopped, about 15 feet from the shore. Just stopped. No second set of footprints, no vehicle tracks, no trail into the woods. Nothing. The owner later claimed locals sometimes wandered onto the property by accident, which made no sense given the distance and the snow. We left that morning and reported everything. A week later, Adam checked the rental listing. The house was gone, not unavailable, deleted. And to this day, there's one detail I still can't explain. Whoever circled that house all night knew exactly where every room was, because they spent the most time standing outside the one bedroom we had decided not to sleep in.